And we're back. We're live again, my friends. Seemed like it was just yesterday we were doing this, but no, it's been a couple weeks. So, yeah, time flies in the clown world. Am I right? What's up? All right. Looks like my watch page just popped on. Got a full crowd ready and waiting. That means I must have hit a really good title tonight. The debate was scripted. I debated personally whether I wanted to do a stream talking about some shill bag that's irrelevant that nobody cares about, or covering this shit show debate. And I thought, let's see, the debate or bust some shitbag shill that no one cares about. Yeah, I should probably cover the debate. That's probably the one that people are going to care about more. Then the shitbag shill that nobody knows. What's up, Jonah? What's up, Rose? How we doing? We are live. We are back. All right. Got a super chat coming in already. Says, just showing respect. Been waiting on this. All right. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. Adam Morgan dropping the first super chat of the night. All right. Okie doke. We got Suzanne here. It says, I'm glad you are covering the debate. I watched it. Well, here's the deal. I've seen one clip. It was the one where Joe Biden forgets what he's talking about and then trails off. But wait, isn't that every Joe Biden clip? Yeah. So I saw like 1% of the debate. Maybe less than 1% of the debate. I saw that one clip where Joe forgets what he's talking about. And I thought, I can probably cover this pretty easily. All I got to do is find some highlights, play them, react to them, talk about them. Should be pretty easy to create some comedy, right? So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to react live tonight because I didn't watch it and I haven't seen like 99% of it. So outside of that one clip that's been circulating where Joe forgets what he's talking about, it's all going to be fresh and new to me. So I thought we would have some fun, review the highlights from the debate together, and then we'll get into depth about how the whole thing was fake and phony and scripted like a pro wrestling match. Sad thing is there won't be any actual pretend fight. I would be more interested if the pretend Joe Biden and Trump actually had like a pro wrestling fight in an actual pro wrestling ring. I would be way more into it. Do you guys remember when Trump battled Vince McMahon in the Battle of the Billionaires? Yeah, remember when Trump did pro wrestling, pretended to fight Vince McMahon? I remember. Do you remember? Joan Nugent coming in with a donation says, awake souls equal broken hose. Oh, if you're referring to that channel where those two pole smokers lead people down their bullshit trail of deception and then they drag my name into it and start lying about me. Yeah, I think there's like a total of 2 or 3 people in the entire world who actually watch those guys and like them. And then the rest of us just fucking point and laugh while they buy views and talk to themselves with their sock comments, with their sock accounts. They just talk to themselves in the comment section. And then any real people who show up and leave a comment, they attack you and call you a satanic NWO shill. Good guys. If you like lying, pole smoking shill bags. But whatever. All right. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. All right. So you guys ready to have some fun tonight? So here's the deal. We're going to watch some of these debate highlights, and I'll pause it, and we'll get comments from you guys, and I'll react to this stuff. And then when we're done with that, we'll move on to some other subjects. We can do some open topic question and answer. But basically, the debate is fresh on everyone's minds. And it's almost like a pro wrestling style WrestleMania setup where you got to have the baby face and the heel, the bad guy and the good guy, doing their promo work, which is when a wrestler cuts a promo, it's usually like, at this next coming pay-per-view, I'm gonna kick your ass, and you're gonna be sorry you mess with me. And then the good guy's like, oh, you think you're gonna kick my ass? Well, let me tell you something, mister. I'm gonna kick your ass. And everybody better tune into the pay-per-view when I kick this guy's ass. So Trump has already done this with the best of the best, Vince McMahon. And so he's trained and ready for this clown show. And how are you going to get ratings? Are you going to have a boring debate? Is that going to get ratings? No. So you got to have Creepy Joe falling asleep at the wheel. You got to have Creepy Joe trailing off, forgetting what he's talking about. You got to call this one of the worst debates of all time if you're going to get some ratings. You got to turn it into the worst debate of all time. You got to turn it into a car wreck because people want to see the car wreck. They can't turn away. Got to stop, slow down, watch the car wreck. So they purposely turn the whole thing into a clown show car wreck on purpose. You think this is naturally, organically happening, that Grandpa forgets what he's talking about while he's in the middle of a presidential debate? You really think this is organic? Nothing but a glorified pro wrestling match, and a not very good one at that. All right. Shady Davey D. LaFleur knows what's up. He says Trump's been involved with WWF/WWE since the 80s, is predictive programming. Yeah. So my thing is, it wasn't that long ago, really. He was doing the Battle of the Billionaires with Vince McMahon. And so he was like pretending to be in a war with Vince McMahon and pretending to fight his buddy, Vince McMahon, his good friend. And so it's funny that, like, back when he was doing that, he was old enough to become the president. But he didn't care much about being the president back then. It's because he was training for his role to become the president. He had to train first. He had to do the reality TV show. He had to do the fake battle with Vince McMahon in order to prepare for his role as the actual president of the United States. See how he had to do these things in order? You can't run for president before you have the Battle of the Billionaires with Vince McMahon, right? No. So he didn't give a shit about being president back then. He cared more about reality TV and pretend fighting. Oh, but then he became a good guy and cared about making America great again. One day he just made that conscious decision to stop goofing around and doing reality TV and pretending to fight. He decided to stop doing that and be a real good guy and save America. What a fucking story. And if you fell for it, you're fucking stupid. All right, Shalom Man says, imagine thinking freedom from money being digital currency can be deleted in an instant. Yeah, I've learned my lesson with the cryptos. I don't promote the cryptos. I own some crypto, sitting and waiting on it for it to turn into a fortune. But I don't promote it. I learned my lesson. In fact, if you like try and send some of that stuff and you like make like even like the slightest error, it just like, whoops, your money just went to the wrong place and you can't get it back, and sorry. Or yeah, somebody hacks your wallet and then all that shit's gone. Yeah, so many bad deals with the crypto shit. Even if you're just holding on to it, somehow it can still disappear. Yeah, it sucks. When it goes up and you're holding a lot of it and it goes up and up and up, yeah, then it's great, I'm sure. But I've never been able to cash out at that moment when it's at its highest. I'm always stuck holding the bags like, oh fuck, I waited too long. I should have whatever. I'll get it next time. I'm gonna cash out this next time. All right. Will H says, so a reality actor and hospice patient are the best America has to offer to lead the free world. America has fallen onto our butts, folks. Yeah, this is what they want you to believe, is that these two guys are like battling for control of America. They're going to be given, the reins of America to make all the decisions of what's going to, either cripple America's economy or make it great again. I mean, who are you going to trust? The grandpa who can't even form a coherent sentence? Or the billionaire Hollywood actor, businessman who's basically talking out both sides of his ass for his whole career? Right? It's a good choice. Well, I'm here to tell you there's more to it than just that. There's a lot more to it than just that. In a nutshell, we got a not real guy, a pretend guy, as in Joe Biden isn't real anymore. It's actors pretending to be Joe Biden, versus Trump, an elite Hollywood puppet tool, a tool of the elitist of the elite, who won't dare tell us the truth that Joe Biden's being played by a team of actors while he's pretending to run against Joe Biden. Did you make sense of what I just said? Joe Biden is a pretend guy. And then you have Trump, a Hollywood puppet tool actor shillbag who won't even tell America the truth that he's running against a not real guy. I would like Trump a lot more if he came out and told us that he's running against a man who is pretending to be Joe Biden. If he told us there's a team of actors who's pretending to be the president right now, I would trust him a lot more. But he won't dare say that. He can't say that. I'm saying that, and I'm going to prove that tonight. Tonight! I'm going to prove Joe Biden is being played by a team of actors. It's not the same guy that it used to be. Trump knows this. He ain't saying shit. There's probably more than one Trump as well. But I'm going to break all that down. All of it tonight. It's going to be wonderful. So much to get to. And thank you, Adam Morgan, for your... oh, shit, I didn't even read that last donation, I don't think. Adam Morgan says, it's hard to resist temptation to join the fake team that supposedly will combat this bullshit inflation. It's hard out here. Yeah, man, it's all by design. So they make Creepy Joe act like he's fallen asleep so that Trumpers think that Trump won. He won the debate. He kicked Joe Biden's ass. This is by design. They want every Trumper and their mama to be thinking that their guy wiped the floor with Joe and their guy has got it made, that he's destroying Joe in these debates. They want you thinking this is like an actual pro wrestling match. So they want you thinking like, okay, we finally got Goldberg and Stone Cold in the same ring. And so far, Goldberg's kicking Stone Cold's ass. So, right? But expect a comeback. Remember, this is a pro wrestling showdown. This is TV. So they got all the Trumpers thinking that because Joe answered some questions and trailed off, that their guy is for sure going to win. I think Trump is going to win, but they're going to make it exciting. They're going to make it exciting. So they turn the debate into a train wreck on purpose in order to gain ratings, because nobody wants to watch two actual old dudes actually debate. So instead, you purposely turn the whole thing into a shit show, and then everyone talks about what a shit show it was the next day, today, which is exactly what's going on. Every single news outlet talking about how it was a train wreck of a debate, the worst run debate of all times, yada, yada, yada. That shit grabs headlines. That's what people want now. They want a train wreck. You think they were going to have it be like a really good, solid back and forth between two well educated individuals who actually want to be the leader of America? Get fucking real, man. All right. Okay, I think I've talked enough. We should probably jump into the show. We got a lot to get through. But first, before we do, what's up? Up! Woo! Jeez. Jeez. Sorry, I had to get that out of my system. Because if I held that in, then I would have been uncomfortable the entire time. All right. What? What are you guys laughing at? You know that that's just something I do. I can't help it. You guys are like laughing at me instead of with me. That's not the point of my comedy. Stop it. Dr. E. Vale says, I can't wait for Trumptricity. Do you know what's been powering my hands the whole time? Trumptricity. All right. I'm going to squeeze it. All right. I'm going to make it this big. And then I'm going to compact it. And I'm going to squeeze it. Do you know how big the fish that I caught was? I went fishing and I caught a fish. It was this big. It was this big. How big was it? Tell me how big the fish was. When I go fishing and I tell people a fishing story, first thing I do is I tell them it was this big, it was this big, it was this big, I don't know. Hey, Trump. Let me catch my breath. That was up still has me a bit out of breath from when I did all that stuff. Now I'm trying to go into a Trump impression while not properly catching my breath. Okay. When people ask me for a specific measurement, I can't ever give an exact measurement. It might be this big, it might be this big. I'm always constantly doing this with my hands. So I am never the best guy to ask about a perfect increment of measurement. I couldn't tell you whether it's inches, couldn't tell you whether it's feet, couldn't tell you whether it's centimeters, but I can tell you China. Billions and billions and billions of China. Billions and billions, billions and billions and billions of China. All right. Now I guess we're about ready to start the show. Okay, I already did the first Trump impression of the night before even watching. And you guys know that if we watch Trump, I'm going to do more Trump impressions. And if we watch him, then my impressions are going to be even that much better. So prepare for more Trump impressions. And away we go. The must-watch moments of the CNN presidential debate. All right. So right away, people are saying that Joe wasn't really there, that it was a CGI Joe. People are already saying, before I even fired up the stream and mentioned CGI Joe, people are claiming it wasn't a real Joe. So Just putting that out there in the open. Before I even start the video, people are saying that possibly there was no actual Joe there, and this is all a CGI Joe, and then Trump acting along with a CGI Joe. So I've heard that assumption already.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Folks, how are you? Great to be here. Thank you.
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump. President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us.
Yes. Before Joe Biden was president, all the other countries respected us and they liked us. But since Joe Biden became president, they don't like us anymore. That's a great point, Trump. The countries all used to love America up until Joe Biden became president. And then that's when they were like, hey, America sucks because of Joe Biden. You know what would make it great again? If Trump came back again. Trump came back again. What? Trump came back again. Everybody know Trump come back again. Let's make it great. Come on. Still falling for this shit show. This is what people want to see. Look, Joe fucking trailed off in his opening sentence. The opening thing he had to say, he scripted trails off. 25, 20, 24%, millions, billions, You think that that's just a regular old man just failing right out of the gate organically? It's a scripted fail. So right out of the gate, Joe stumbles and blows it right away. So people are like, oh yeah, this old senile grandpa, he doesn't deserve to run the country. He's not mentally fit to run the country. This is what Trumpers are all saying. He's old and senile. He ain't mentally stable. Trump's smart. Trump's a businessman. He knows way more about running America right now. What America needs is a businessman like Trump. Joe Biden's way too old and senile. If you're thinking that Joe Biden's old and senile, and that he's not answering these questions correctly and trailing off because he's old. Well, then that means you've been duped into thinking Joe Biden's the same guy he used to be, actually president, and is actually trailing off during this actual debate. No! You see, there's people pretending to be Joe Biden. For instance, you can stick Dana Carvey in a mask, and he could pull this off. He could pull this off perfectly. So that could literally be Dana Carvey in a fucking mask for all we know. And all he's got to do is just stay in character. And as long as he's wearing that mask and on that stage, he is Joe Biden. So I've already seen Dana Carvey do such a masterful job at pretending to be Joe without wearing a disguise. So if I use my imagination and think, that's either like Dana Carvey or somebody as talented as Dana Carvey. Let me make that clear. Is Dana Carvey or someone as talented as Dana Carvey can put on a hyper-realistic CIA mask, and as long as they're up there on the camera, well, then they are Joe Biden as far as the American public is concerned. Shalom Man says, today's billionaire crypto scammers are family of the bankers and government officials running money scam today. Changing of the guard, same system. Yeah, they're going to collapse the dollar, turn the dollar digital, and they're going to do that through crypto. And it sucks because I love cash. But yeah, that's like a whole nother video for a whole nother day. And so I don't want to get too wrapped up in crypto and banker shit right now. So thank you for the donation. But yeah, I'll do that. I'll talk about that on like a different stream, or I've talked about it in other streams in the past. But yeah, like if we start going down that rabbit hole, it's just a completely different thing than this debate. So I'm going to try and stay on topic so we can cover this debate. But thank you, Shalom Man, for your donation. All right, let's watch a few more clips and we'll talk more about this clown show debate.
We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat killing our citizens when they come in.
So it looks like they're having the person playing Joe go out of his way to be like, oh, 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 what's he talking about? Oh, oh, right? It's like fucking overdoing it. Okay, we need you to pretend like you're like the oldest grandpa who there ever was, and you're suffering from like the worst dementia ever, and you don't know where you're at or who you even are anymore. Okay, and we're just gonna wheel you out there on stage, Grampy, and we want you to make a fool of yourself like you're the biggest grandpa of all time. Just think about that you're like 5 months away from dying, and you're showing up to Thanksgiving, and you don't even know what Thanksgiving is anymore. That's your character. That's your motivation. You're showing up to Thanksgiving dinner with your family, but you don't even know what Thanksgiving is anymore. You don't even recognize your family members. You don't know where you are. And go. That's basically like the motivation to be the Joe Biden character. So a talented actor with the right tools can pull this off, and there's even examples of the government using a CGI Joe and then lying about it afterwards. And yes, I'm going to show those examples coming up soon. So, if I say Joe Biden's been replaced and the old Joe Biden is dead and gone or is no longer around, and that they're using actors and masks and CGI deepfakes to fake you out that there's an actual guy named Joe Biden currently when there isn't. And so that story only sounds crazy unless you've been following along. And I've got the actual clips to show you, the proof to show you. And I've got the government doing damage control saying, oh no, people think that this is a CGI Joe, but it's not a CGI Joe. So I got all the proof coming up that this ain't even a real Joe Biden. Not the original Joe Biden that was vice president under Obama anyway. This is some other person. This is an imposter. In my opinion, it's a team of imposters wearing a mask and also some CGI deepfakes. And the fact that you don't have Trump admitting that, Trump's not coming out and saying anything about it, well, that just goes to show you that he's on team bad guy, team evil.
On everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these three incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and he just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place.
Okay, so conservatives and Trumpers, they love to pin all the blame of migrants flooding into the country on Joe Biden. And so that's actually one of the things they do purposefully is they make Joe Biden like the scapegoat for Trumpers, like he's the one letting in all the illegals. Joe Biden personally lets in all the illegals. Joe Biden came along and there were no illegals here. Illegals were not coming here at all. And then Joe Biden showed up, and then all these fucking illegals started coming here. And Trump just said the illegals are killing people faster than anything. These illegals, they're killing Americans. They're killing American. No, you know what's killing Americans? Poisons in the food, poisons in the medications. I can't say too much about that. There's a lot of things kill Americans, but it's not so much the illegals. So here's Trump saying it's the illegals that are killing Americans, and then trying to pin it on Joe like illegals come from Joe Biden. There were no illegals. There was no migrants here. No illegal immigrants. And then Joe Biden showed up, and now there's like a fuck time. If it's people pretending to be a guy, well, then that guy isn't in control of the border. So why isn't Trump pointing that out and telling you that? If Trump is a good guy, why doesn't he fucking tell you the real truth? That's not even the real Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't have any control over the border, and there's other evil forces at work that keep that border open and illegals coming across and being funded and taken care of when they get across. No, instead he acts like that's all Joe Biden who does that. Joe Biden personally does all those things. This is how they keep this right versus left paradigm going. And they keep the fuel added to the flames. Joe Biden is the one bringing all those illegal immigrants. They're killing America. They took our, yeah. And if Trump comes back for what, 4 years, he's going to fix all of it? In a perfect world, if you believe in this bullshit, and Trump comes back, he's only got 4 years. And then what? You're going to get another Democrat puppet. President The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Vice President Oprah going to come in right after his ass and screw everything up, his great, wonderful plan. So even if you're on board with the Trump bullshit, and I'm not, but even if you are, you only got 4 years until the next Democrat puppet comes along and shits all over his wonderful plan for America. So all you're going to get at best is 4 years to puff out your chest and go, my guy won. He's going to make America great again. That's all you're going to get. 4 years at best to pretend to be happy. All right. Chad Hurry says, can we land on the moon? Got a fever for the moon. Okay. And it looks like my bandwidth is being messed with. Maybe if I shut down that video for a second, it'll get better. All right, we got a request for a song, so we'll take a break from the politics while I sing a quick tune. Land on the moon, we'll land on the moon. Land on the moon, we'll land on the moon. Land on the moon, we'll land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We rove to the left, we rove to the right. In beach, you note that we rove all night. We rove up north, we rove down south. In beach, we rove up right up in your mouth. We land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We rove to the west, we rove to the east. And you think that we rove the least, but that is wrong. We rove the best. And if you don't know that, then fuck you, my friend. Yes, sir. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. Rove, 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 rover, say rove, 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 rover. We rove, 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 rover, rove, rove, rove. Everybody now, rove, 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 rove. Everybody say rove, 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 rover. All right, that's enough. I'll keep going, but then I'm gonna get off topic, and then we're just gonna be in an Indian concert of sorts. I don't even know what's happening. I'm sorry. I was gonna talk about the debate, and then this guy comes along offering me money to sing a song. All right. Okay, so back to business. You guys know how it goes. You're in the middle of breaking down a fake, phony debate. Somebody says, hey, here's a donation for you to sing Land on the Moon. Gotta make everyone happy. It's my job. All right. Where was I? What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Clown show debate. Clown show debate. Looks like I missed the super chat, which does happen. Shady David D. LaFleur says over 660 in the chat already. Hit that thumbs up. Oh, you got to watch it. If you use a 6 and a 6, people will assume that you're a shill. So it's better for you to say 659, okay? Or 661. All right. Thank you, Davey D. LaFleur. I appreciate that. Yeah, we got lots of people watching. Hit the thumbs up. We're going to continue breaking down this debate. And I got some interesting evidence to show you about Joe Biden being a CGI deepfake. as well as a team of actors wearing masks. Then I got some dirt on Trump, and it's going to be a good stream, and we're just getting started. So everybody stick around. It's going to be a fun Friday night. Slam the thumbs up button right now. We're just getting started. Just getting started. Represent, indeed. Anthony Clay says they set Biden up with the early debate. Now they are coming for him, scripted. Well, they've been planting this seed for years now that, like, Joe Biden is just so old and senile that he doesn't even know who or where he is anymore. And he's not fit to be president. And of course, Trumpers are going to latch on to that, right? So every Trumper and their mama is like, oh, Joe Biden, he can't even make sense anymore. Trump whooped his ass in that debate. Did you hear when he started talking and he done trailed off? He didn't even know what he was talking about. See, they think that Joe Biden trailing off is great for Trump because then their guy is going to win. Their guy gets to look good. She says, Will H super chat. Oh, so maybe I missed another super chat. Hold on, let me run back and try and grab super chats that I missed. Pisces and Kiwi says, thanks for the fun. Love your sad Alex Jones ass. You know what? I'm fixing to cry for how painful that debate was last night. I tuned in to watch an entertaining debate, but that debate was so sad, makes me want to cry. Boo-hoo! This is what it sounds like when Alex Jones cries. This is what it sounds like when doves cry. All right. Will H. Sorry, buddy. Almost missed your super chat, but you can thank Rose. She sent me a text. So I found it. And it says, people forget Trump vaxxed America and locked us down. Why? Exactly. I got that video coming up later, bro. I got the Trump promoting the vax video coming up. Of course I'm going to show that. I'm not going to let everyone here who loves Trump think that their guy is some Lord and Savior going to win this shit and going to fix America. Hell no. Any Trumpers here, you're going to get yours soon. We're going to start with Joe, make Joe out to be a piece of shit nobody who doesn't exist, played by a team of actors. And then I'm going to get to Trump, the Hollywood scumbag actor poser that he is, and I'm going to expose his ass too. So if you support either one of these crooked politicians, you're not going to like what I have to say. All right. Thank you, Will H. I appreciate the donation. And yes, that video's coming up soon. Once we watch a little more of the debate, then I'll go break down the past of both these characters. Okay. All right, let's watch a few more clips from the scripted debate, and then we'll go into breaking down these characters and dive a little further into this whole scripted clown show.
Taken place in our country. We're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all. And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved, choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed CIA in America.
President,
For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living right next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers.
Come on, guys. You guys, anyone still thinking this is real? Like that whole spiel of nonsensical word salad, and then you're the sucker at the end? This is some world stage comedy theater, man. One more time. That last line was funny.
He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation.
So another thing you've never seen me run with, Hunter Biden's laptop. You know why I don't run with that? Because it's fake shit. It's fake shit made for conservatives to run with. Hunter Biden's laptop. Do you know what was on Hunter Biden? No, because it's all fucking made up. It's a bullshit story. People acting like they fucking know what's on Hunter Biden's laptop because of what they saw on the news. It's all bullshit made for the conservatives to latch onto. That's why I don't make any videos about, oh my God, Hunter Biden's laptop has this and that, you guys. So therefore Trump's awesome. Doesn't fucking work like that. Here's the deal. Why am I going to care about Hunter Biden's laptop if Hunter Biden doesn't say, hey, that's not my real dad. That's a team of actors pretending to be my fucking dad. My dad's dead, and those guys are fucking acting like my dad's alive. Dana Carvey's pretending to be my fucking dad. Then I would listen. I would listen to Joe Biden's son. If Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, was to say that his dad's dead and been replaced, and fucking Dana Carvey is putting on a CIA mask and pretending to be his dad, then I would fucking listen. But he doesn't say that. So quit fucking talking about his goddamn laptop, because that evidence is nothing that you discovered in your hands. You didn't get to personally go through his fucking laptop, did you? No, but people want to talk about what was on his fucking laptop as if this some fucking news and these are facts and he's a bad guy because of it. But you don't want to talk about the fact Joe Biden's not a real guy? See, that's why I want to make it more of a main topic, that like Joe Biden has been replaced. And I know I say that about people. I say Dave Chappelle's been replaced, Joe Biden's been replaced, but I don't think that about everyone. For instance, they might have a few different Trumps, but I don't have the same level of evidence against Trump as I do of Joe Biden. In fact, I think this is a good point to switch away and show some of the evidence that Joe Biden has been replaced and isn't even a real guy. I think that's about a good time to switch away. Start talking about the fact that old Joe Biden, who was president under, or vice president under Obama, that's not the same guy as the current Joe Biden. In fact, let me show you guys a few pictures, just to show you what I'm talking about. And it might sound crazy if you've never dug into this before, but if you do just a little bit of research, you're going to find the man has some faces from not that long ago that don't quite look like his face anymore. He used to have blue eyes, and then his eyes became like dark black. Anyone remember Joe used to have blue eyes? And then they became like black eyes. So when I look at the old Joe, and I look at this one, I'm just seeing what looks like either a hyper-realistic mask or a CGI deepfake. And I'm not crazy for thinking that, because there's evidence for both those things. And I'm not the only person to have the thought like that. In fact, there's quite a large number of people who've pointed out that some of the instances where Joe Biden's on TV, it looks like they're just using a CGI deepfake and not an actual real Joe Biden. So why would they need to do that? Why would they need to use a CGI deepfake Joe Biden? That's to test the American public and see if you even notice. If you don't notice, well, they're just going to continue along like we got them. Hardly anyone noticed that that was a CGI deepfake. So then they can tamper with how fake he looks and make it more obvious, just to see who says what. Just to see how fake do you need to make it before people start speaking up. Check this out.
These were heroes that day. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American.
Guys, we're basically out of time, but just one line each reaction.
Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American.
Okay, so in my opinion, when you see that clip, he's not blinking. It looks obvious like they stuck a CGI face and overlaid it over someone else's body. It doesn't look natural. A lot of people noticed that it doesn't look natural. Not just the crazy conspiracy theorist with the funky hat. I wasn't the only guy that noticed. This right here was noticed by a lot of people that that doesn't look like a real Joe Biden. But guess what? They just printed out a news report that said, yes, it is. Any reports that that's a fake Joe Biden is fake news. Yes, one more time. Let's watch it.
Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American.
Guys, we're basically out of time, but just
Okay. So, pretty obvious. That's not a real Joe Biden, right? I'm not the only person that pointed it out and noticed. So guess what? They had to do some fucking damage control. False claims of deep fake president go viral. Well, no shit. Anyone who saw that should have freaked out. That should be an aha moment. Like, oh my God, they're faking the president? Why would they fake the president? Is there even a real president, or has he been fucking fake this whole time? Yeah, this should like melt your mind if you did not know that there's a such thing as a CGI fake president. If you didn't know Joe Biden's been replaced and you just figured it out, yeah, that would be kind of a big deal. So they had to come out and be like, oh, no, it's real. Anyone who thought that this video of Joe Biden was a deep fake, it's not. What are people claiming? They're claiming that this was a deep fake, but it's not. Look, see? False. False, you guys. BBC says it's false, that it's not. How do we know that it's not fake? Because BBC fucking tells us. The big black cock corporation is fucking telling you so. Look, you guys, Joe Biden is being faked, and they're fucking doing damage control telling you, no, it's not a fake Joe Biden. It's a real Joe Biden. We promise. Hunter Thompson says, dude, that voice sounds like Kevin Costner. Dude, there's several actors who've played the part of Joe Biden. Dana Carvey, Jim Carrey, just to name a few. I think it's a big running gag, and they've probably had, I don't know, 20 different people play the damn part. The more Joe Bidens you have, the harder it is to pin down any one actor playing the part. I think they want it that way. So yeah, why would they have to print this article on BBC saying that that's not a deep fake and that that's a real Joe? So thank you, Hunter Thompson. I appreciate that, bro. See, so it seems there's some merit to what I'm talking about. And it's not just a crazy conspiracy theory to think that Joe Biden's been replaced. They had to go and print this damn article. All right. If that's not enough for you, I got more. But wait, there's more. So here's a video I made, oh God, like over 3 years ago. In April 13th, 2021. So this is some old information, but it's going to be new to some of you guys. So those of you who've been following the channel for a long time, you're going to recognize this one. There is something seriously wrong with our president, Creepy Joe. Now, a lot of you guys may have seen this video floating around, but you haven't heard me break it down yet. And in my opinion, this video interview that Creepy Joe did during the elections on CNBC, this video interview is the best single piece of evidence that Joe has been replaced by an imposter actor or a team of imposter actors who are carrying out the role of Creepy Joe. In fact, Creepy Joe may have been gone for years and might only exist in the world of CGI. Sound like a crazy conspiracy theory? Well, by the end of this video, I'm pretty sure your mind's about to be blown. Let's dive in. Oh, and before we get started, just in case you've never seen this video before, keep your eyes focused on Joe Biden's neck. That is where all the action takes place. Again, eyes on Creepy Joe's neck. Here we go.
Mr. Vice President, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for being out here. Thank you.
How's that bus tour? You had a wild exchange this morning.
Well, that was actually a little bit of fun. The fact is that we have a great bus tour. We've about 660 miles. We're going in day 6.
First thing out of his mouth, 660 miles going into day 6. See how he just conveniently spits out 666 right out of the gate. Now again, keep your eyes on the neckline.
We've had a couple thousand people show up. They're enthusiastic, and it was interesting the response to the crowd when that fellow spoke up. And that there's plenty of room to be able to do things that make a lot of sense. That's why, look, I have always been of the view that the tax policy is not about punishing people. It's about giving everybody a shot, giving everybody an equal prospect. And so what I call for example, there's overwhelming evidence now that the idea that the capital gains tax is promoting growth is just not the case.
So the first thing that people notice when they see this video is the completely unnatural neckline of Creepy Joe. It doesn't look like a regular shadow to me. It looks like where possibly a mask meets skin, or it's quite possibly a CGI layering effect. I can't quite put my finger on it, but what I can put my finger on is that it's not natural. There's something wrong with that man's neckline, and it's either a person wearing a mask or some sort of CGI layering effect. Now, that's the first thing most people notice when they see this video. What not everyone notices is that the whole thing's done in front of a green screen. I mean, look in the background. You can see people eating like they're in some random diner. Do you think President-elect Joe at the time is going to do this big interview in some random diner and these people in the background are just going to sit there and act like they don't know what's going on? You don't think people would crowd around the table, stare directly into the camera, walk up and interrupt and ask for an autograph? I mean, come on. This background is obviously done in front of a green screen. So if the background is green screened in, this whole interview is completely unnatural to begin with. So it's not too far out of the imagination to think that Creepy Joe's face could be CGI layered right on top of some other person, or it could be some guy with a really realistic mask of Creepy Joe. Okay, so I'm on record 2021 pointing this out. This is not anything new. So those of you following my channel for years, this is basically just me repeating shit, but there's a bunch of new people following me, and it is election season. So I know this is new for a lot of people watching right now and who will see this. So there is quite a bit of evidence that Joe Biden is being played by a team of actors, and they're using CGI deep fake Joes on TV. And so one of the reasons you would want to do this is to not have an actual acting president. And so if you have a team of actors pretending to be the president, you can accomplish a lot of evil goals while just making it appear like there's some old senile guy in charge. He's so old and senile. And all you got to do is just have the actors just screw up, the debates basically on purpose and make it look like he's unfit to even be the president by trailing off and rambling on. And this makes people at home think that they're smarter than the current president. This makes people at home, sitting in their chairs, want to rally behind Trump and want to think that they have better ideas on how to fix this country, how to fix the economy than the current acting president. So this accomplishes a lot of things, and it's very dubious. And when you find out that, like, he's not an old man who's senile and delusional, they've pulled the wool over many millions of Americans' eyes. In fact, it's way more evil than that. Trump's going along with this. Any Trump supporters here? Well, Trump goes along with this evil plan where Joe Biden pretends to be president under the team of actors pretending to be Joe Biden. So there's a pretend president, but you don't hear Trump mentioning any of this. So again, there is no good guy in politics on your side. And in fact, it's so far removed from reality, there isn't even a guy pointing it out besides people like me. I'm one of the only people in the entire world who will tell you that this guy, the president of the United States, is not a real person, and the old Joe Biden is gone. And it's a character being played by numerous actors. I'm one of the only people who can put this into fucking words and explain it properly, and has the evidence to show you that it's not a crazy conspiracy theory. It's the fucking truth. Pretending to be Creepy Joe. This is the first thing I see when I look at this video. Let's continue.
It wasn't until Republicans started taking it away that all of a sudden people said, whoa, I didn't know that's where I got that from. And look what we did. We won back 41 seats, Republican seats in purple and red areas. Because people, so you didn't hear any Republicans out there saying, I'm going to take away your pre-existing condition coverage, because they figured it out. It wasn't until Republicans started taking it away that all of a sudden people said, whoa, I didn't know that's where I got that from. And look what we did. We won back 41 seats, Republican seats in purple and red areas. Because people, so you didn't hear any Republicans out there saying, I'm going to take away your pre-existing condition coverage, because they figured it out.
Now, don't just take my word for it. And if anyone thinks that I did something to manipulate these video clips, you can go watch the full interview on CNBC's YouTube channel. You can go over there and watch the entire thing and come to your own conclusion. Now, I will recommend that you do go over there and watch it. And when you do, make sure you smash the thumbs down button. And if you'll look at the thumbs down to thumbs up ratio, you will be delighted to see that the thumbs down far outweigh the thumbs up. That's a good sign. And if you look in the comments, an even better sign shows that people are definitely taking notice of Creepy Joe's neckline, and they aren't letting it slide. I highly recommend you go over, smash the thumbs down on that video, and read some of the comments, and maybe even leave a few of your own. In fact, here's some of the best comments that I found right at the top of the comments section. And I especially liked this guy's comment. He says, we're going to see more and more of these anomalies as the truth comes out. This is for the sleepers to see. They will finally wake up. I hope so, my man. And I absolutely loved this comment by Laura Salva. She says, a true journalist would have said, what is that under your chin? Are you wearing a mask? Why are you wearing a mask? Are you the real Joe Biden? Exactly. We didn't get any of those questions asked, and that would have been some real groundbreaking journalism right there. But the last thing you're ever going to receive is real groundbreaking journalism when you tune in to the mainstream media. All right, y'all, the time has come to leave your comments down below. I want to know what you guys think this is. What the hell is going on with Joe Biden's neck? Is this a CGI layering effect? Is this some sort of super realistic mask? All right, so as you can see, I'm on record back in 2021 calling out this dude as being CGI Joe, replaced Joe, actors pretending to be Joe, and I still maintain my stance. And I believe the evidence has increased over the years. So it's not like anyone has come along and proven me wrong. So if you tell people who've never looked into this, Joe Biden's been replaced, it sounds crazy. It's like saying purple dinosaurs are inside of the hollow earth and they're the ones who are really running the show. It sounds fucking retarded to say Joe Biden has been replaced until you actually look into the evidence. When you really look into it, holy shit, he has been replaced. And I don't go around just claiming everyone's been replaced. Certain people who are influential have been replaced. And it is a fact. And you won't see shills compiling this evidence like I have and telling you this. For instance, some shitbag like Russian vids who will run his fucking mouth about me, yet he won't actually compile evidence like what I just showed you and prove that Joe Biden has been replaced. And then show you the evidence about Trump and show you how both candidates are controlled. Now he's going to probably have to steal this idea like he steals a lot of my shit. All right. So that's the Joe Biden sector. I had to expose that he's not a real guy. Yes, that is what I really think. So now we get to move on to Trumpy, because he's not innocent. He's not a good guy. He's not going to make America great again. In fact, he had his chance, and he sucked. America wasn't great when he was in charge. Oh, but the gas was cheaper, and my food was cheaper. Trump didn't make that shit happen. And inflation makes everything go up constantly. I can say back when Clinton was president that gas was cheaper and that food was cheaper. That's because it was a long fucking time ago and prices has went up. That's one of Trumper's favorite lines. The gas was cheaper. Food was cheaper and I had more money. That's because inflation drives the cost of everything up. When Trump comes back as president, and he most likely will, it's not like the cost of food and gas is going to drop because he's such a great guy looking out for you. Come on. The dollar is continuing to crash. Inflation will continue. Shalom Man, formerly Marcus Miller, but not the bass player, says, why do those with the most to lose ever go to war to protect their land, sacrifices? Well, a lot of people get duped into going to war back in the day, for instance. You know, like they could dupe people into thinking, like, for instance, back the Vietnam War, it was easier to dupe the public into thinking that, like, fighting for America is a great, wonderful thing. And these bad guys, these terrible Viet Cong, they're threatening our freedom and you should want to go over to their country and shoot them. It was easier to like talk people into that. Whereas now it's you can't talk people in to being soldiers so easily with this rah, you know, fight the bad guys on behalf of America bullshit. So now you couldn't really even force people to go because they're just like, no, fuck you, I'm not going. You know what I mean? And then to like put everyone in jail who doesn't want to go, see what I'm saying? It's like it would be too big of a hassle for them to even try that. So personally, yeah, there's no reason to go to war for this country at all. And even if some other country was to start attacking, like what are you going to do? Then sign up for the American military so you can be shipped off to go fight them? Like people who sign up for the military quickly find out you don't get shipped off to go fight bad guys. You are the bad guy. When you show up to those other fucking places, you are the bad person. Show up to some god-awful Middle Eastern country protecting opium poppies. Like, what the fuck am I doing here protecting opium poppies in the Middle East? Shut up or we'll fucking shoot you. You're property of the American government. That's more likely to happen. Go ask Pat Tillman. Okay. Will H says the debate made it clear that these two are just mere puppets of the Zionist banking cartel. F them all. Well, it's even worse than that. Like if Joe Biden's a team of actors playing a fake dude, so he's not he's not even actually a puppet. He's just like a fake dude. And then Trump's a fake dude. You got to figure they probably have 2 or 3 different replacement Trumps if necessary. So when you really stand back and look at what we're watching, it's like an actor pretending to be an old dude and then another old dude pretending to debate over a scripted selection where one of them already knows that they're going to be president. Like they both know who's already selected to be president. So it's like this weird pro wrestling deal where they're just going through the motions and doing this bullshit for the public. And the public's just eating all of it up like it's the road to WrestleMania. And I'm trying my best to describe this for people who've been following me for a long time and who are new, to where I can catch people up who are new and at the same time make a joke about all of it, you know, for the people who've been following me for years. Quite a unique job I've carved out for myself. The Pat Tillman death story was a psyop as far as the story that they told, but he was killed by friendly fire. And when you look a little deeper into it, they made up the story that he's some sort of hero to cover up the fact that he was killed by friendly fire. So the real story when you dig into Pat Tillman was that he left his football career to go join the military, and then he found out that he wasn't fighting bad guys. He got pissed off and wanted to go home, and then he got killed by friendly fire. Now, whether the whole thing is totally a made-up psyop, I don't know about that, because when you really dig into it, it makes the government look real bad and evil. So I don't know if they'd go as far as to have made the entire thing up. But I know they made up the part about him being accidentally killed by friendly fire. That and him being a hero, yeah, that part they made up to cover up his mysterious death. So, but that's for another video and another day, and none of us can really verify what the hell really happened with that guy. So we'll just leave that as it is. All right. So let me move on to the Trump shit. I dogged on Joe, so now I gotta dog on Trump for a while. Lint away, dryer vent cleaning says debate also pre-recorded to make sure everything went perfect. Camera cuts, perfect transition. So I heard that. See, I didn't know if they were in front of a live audience or not, but even if they have a live audience, it can be a set up live audience, right? So you can have every audience member in on the act even. And so live audience or no live audience, there is the possibility where that was like a CGI Joe again. Now, the evidence wasn't super clear to me that it was, so I can say it was either an actor pretending to be Joe or it's a CGI Joe. Either way, the character of Joe doesn't exist. So I have examples from the past where it's a lot more clear they're doing a CGI deepfake. So that's why I showed tonight my best examples that I have cataloged of the CGI Joe, rather than me just call him a CGI from the debate. So now we know the possibility exists, if you get the CGI correct, that you can have a CGI Joe and people not notice. So we have to assume anytime we see Joe on screen, it could be the CGI Joe. It's not always going to look like shit. In fact, if they've tested this technology and perfected it, then it's going to be harder and harder to tell the difference between when it's Dana Carvey in a mask or whether it's just a computer-generated Joe. Thank you, Lint Away Dryer Vent Cleaning, the best damn lint air dryer vent and away cleaning this side of the Mississippi. And no, he didn't pay me to say that, or did he? All right. And that's just a joke that I say every time he sends me a super chat. All right. Let's get to the Trump shit, shall we? Thanks, bro. I appreciate the donations over the years. All right. So got the Joe Biden one. Well, let me pull it up on my end. So I made a video years ago. God, I think this one's almost 4 years old, called Trump is a Pro Wrestler, 100% Proof. Those of you who've been following for years, it's stuff you've already seen, but there's people here who've never seen this, and it is election season, so it is important. Everyone listen up. Trump is a pro wrestler, 100% proof. I got the proof right here, 100% of it. Don't go nowhere. Oh, looks like I might miss super chats. Did I miss some? Who'd I miss? I'm going back. I'll check real quick and before I get into the Trump shit. Once I start watching the Trump shit, then the super chats are gonna be fucking way in the distance. It's gonna be harder for me to go dig them up. So I'm scrolling back. I got Will's super chat. I think I did read that one. Pretty sure I read that one. Evan. Oh, yeah, I think I missed this one. Evan says the only guy I 100% trust is Jake in his crazy hat. And you know what? I've been thinking there's going to come a time I should probably like retire the hat or just wear it like less and just put it on special occasions, because people accuse me of like, oh, it's a gestures hat. Oh, you know, Jake's a shill because of his hat. It's like people are still fucking latching onto the hat. So I feel like if I take away the hat, I'm like, okay, I can still be funny without the hat. Doesn't bother me to not wear the hat. Like I can take it away and then they can't be like, oh, well, he's one of those evil Jays because he wears the hat. You see what I'm saying? So I can stop wearing it just to prove certain people wrong who've talked shit. Oh, and this has nothing to do with your comment, by the way, Evan. This is just something I've been thinking about. So thank you, Evan. I appreciate that. Hopefully that was the only super chat that I missed. But yeah, I've been thinking about just ditching the hat and then like putting it like, you know, in the back. Like I can put it on a mic stand hanging back here so that you guys know it exists. And then I can put it on at certain points of a live stream and then take it back off. But I've been thinking that like for me to wear the hat in every live stream gives people this reason to be like, oh, he's a bad guy. He's one of the evil Jays because of his hat. So if I take away the hat, then it's like, now what, bitch? Don't got the hat on. So what's up with the evil Jay shit now? Oh, well, he's one of those evil Jays and shills that takes his hat off sometimes, I guess. Ah! What if I fucking never wear a hat again? Then what? And I'm only saying this to the fucking people who try to make me out like I'm a bad guy and they don't have any evidence. So they go after my hat. And then when you find out the history of the hat is that I was in a band and we wore funky hats, and you can look at videos and pictures of me wearing the funky hat with my other bandmates also wearing funky hats before I ever made any conspiracy videos. So it's literally like the story of the hat is like harmless as fuck. And people are like, he's an evil shill and an evil Jay. And that's why he wears the hat. Like, no. In fact, that's what makes me want to take it off. It's people talking shit just so I can prove them wrong. All right. Sorry I went off on the hat rant, but it gets brought up by anyone who doesn't like me. So it's one of those deals. It's like it's a lightning rod for attention. So I could fucking take it away. And I could still be funny and do all the same shit and say all the same shit. And now nobody can say that I'm wearing a fucking hat to make truthers look stupid. Now they have to say I'm acting stupid to make truthers look stupid. Ha! All right. Let's continue. Let's get into the Trump shit. Trump's a pro wrestler. Here we go. Whew. And this was created. Oh, look, see, I'm wearing a captain's hat. Dude, I used to get so many compliments on the captain's hat. In fact, like women out in public, when I wore that hat in public, would compliment me and say, I like your hat. And people would talk to me out of nowhere just because of that hat. I should probably start wearing a fucking captain's hat again. I left it in a hotel room and I forgot it. And then I just never got another one. Anyway, so this was created, just so everyone knows what we're about to watch, September 13th, 2020. So this one's about 4 years old. Very relevant. Very, very relevant to right now. President Donald Trump got in the professional wrestling industry a long time ago, and nobody seems to realize he's a professional wrestler, even though he went on WWE with this boy Vince McMahon and pretended to throw a clothesline.
This. Hey, look at this! Donald Trump! It's Trump the Thumper.
Even your politics is fake and rigged. It's all professional wrestling. Football, fake and rigged. Professional wrestling is politics. Your boy Trump is best friends with Vince McMahon. They pretended to be enemies. Trump shaved his friend's Vince McMahon's head in a WWE ring. Trump threw a clothesline at Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon pretends to be hurt. Nobody remembers. Nobody remembers but me. It's because you guys weren't watching fake wrestling. A lot of people say, Jake, I never watched fake wrestling. Well, it's too bad, because if you would have, you'd realize how easy it is to spot that everything else is fake. But in professional wrestling, it's okay because it's a show. So you know that they're not actually really trying to hurt each other and they're not in a real fight. So if you go watch professional wrestling, you can watch Stone Cold take on The Rock. When Stone Cold and The Rock go at it, it sells out arenas. Whenever they used to put Stone Cold and The Rock against each other, they would sell out any arena anywhere in the world. And the thing was, we all knew that they weren't actually fighting, but we want to tune in and see the show to see how the show's going to play out. It's the same thing with this election and the last election. It's a show. They're friends. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are professional wrestlers pretending to be in an election. They eat catered meals together. They already know the outcome of the election. There is no real election. It's a professional wrestling match. But everyone seems to think their fucking vote counts. Your vote counts as much as voting for Hulk Hogan to beat Macho Man. And I also have to explain to people that wrestling will sometimes predict the future. In 1989, there was a tag team called the Demolition, and they fought a tag team called the Twin Towers. Yes, a tag team called the Demolition fought a tag team called the Twin Towers in 1989. And people will say, Jake, that's just a coincidence. Sure it is. And they used to run WWE events in Trump's arena. Did you guys know Trump, back when he used to have a casino and stuff, he used to have this arena and they used to have WWE events in Trump's arena? Trump and Vince McMahon go way, way back. There's pictures of Vince and Trump from fucking decades ago, hanging out, being buddies. In fact, check out this old picture from the late 80s where Hulk Hogan and Donald Trump are holding hands like some sort of gay lovers. Look at these two. Look at the way they're holding hands. Doesn't that look just a little bit strange?
Now, wrestling fans know what's coming up. Battle of the Billionaires. Trump versus Vince McMahon, right? So if Trump and Vince McMahon pretended to fight, what's the difference between Trump and Joe Biden pretending to have an election? In fact, it's Trump and some dudes pretending to be Joe Biden, pretending to have an election. So it's in this man's blood, and it's in this man's history that he has been part of this industry. You know, the big club, the one that you're not in. Did you hire Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon to like run shows in your casino? No, Trump did that. So I don't know how anyone acts like Trump is like their guy on their side. It's like the dude was tied back to every corporate shitbag you ever knew in one way or another, and was always an industry shitbag billionaire. And in that industry, you got to do what you got to do to stay on top. You don't care about little people on the bottom. In fact, you're cashing in on the little people on the bottom. It's how you make your money, is on the little people on the bottom. Look at the way they're holding hands there. If you were to meet Hulk Hogan, would you hold his hands like that? Right? If you were to meet Trump, are you going to hold his hands like that? That's kind of a weird way to hold another man's hands. And this is at the height of both of their primes. Well, I shouldn't say the height of Trump, because right now he's bigger than ever. But back then, Hulk Hogan was gigantic, gigantoid, gigantic. Look at the way he's holding Trump's hands. This is weird to me. You might want to look into that grasp and see if that has anything to do with some sort of a Masonic greeting, if you will. Lint Away Dryer Vent Cleaning says, WWE Cyber Sunday voting for match made me realize real voting doesn't matter as a kid. It doesn't matter who people picked, predetermined results. So the way they control your vote in the electoral system for the president is through electoral votes. So each state is worth a certain amount of electoral votes. And a lot of people don't even know this. And it's very basic stuff, like California is worth the most electoral votes because it's the most populated. And so winning California is most important, right? Oh, well, it's automatically a blue state. So Trump doesn't have a shot in California. So he's just he's got to go rally in those states that it might maybe be red, and it's on the cusp of either being blue or red. Those are the only ones that you would even go really need to rally. Why go rally in Utah if it's already red? Why go rally in Wyoming if for sure they're not going to vote blue? So you would only go rally in states where the vote's going to be close, like Ohio or Florida, right? It wouldn't even make sense to go rally anywhere fucking where you already have all the support or where you don't have hardly any support. So when you really look into like the electoral votes, like, okay, Utah is only worth like 4 or 5 electoral votes because hardly anyone lives there. But California is worth 20 whatever electoral votes because it's got a huge population. And Nevada's only worth like fucking 4 or 5 because it's hardly anyone there. See what I'm saying? So it's like each state is minimized if they don't have a big population. So you could live in one of those states where there's just not a big population and your state just ain't worth that many votes. And see what I'm saying? To where they take away the incentive from you as the voter, to where it's just a fucking waste of time anyway, even if you think it's real. Like, why would I go vote in California where I live if it's a blue state? Even if I thought it was real. Even if I loved Trump, let's say, voting in California would be a waste of my time. And let's say I love Biden, let's make believe. Well, voting for him would be a waste of time because it's already a blue state where I live. So if you live in a blue state and you know it's a blue state, for instance, like me, well, then why would you go vote? Same applies if it's a red state. If you live in Wyoming and you love guns and Trump, what do you need to go vote for? It ain't like the libs are going to take over Wyoming. So if you live in a place that's already red through and through, you don't got to vote. If you live in a place that's blue through and through, you don't got to vote. You would only theoretically count. Theoretically. It would only theoretically count if you lived in a swing state. And then, even then, your vote still doesn't count. See how that works? Because they've already fucking made up their mind anyway. So they can have it all come down to Florida. All the results are in except for Florida. And we just got to find out what happens in Florida. Whether one guy wins or the other guy wins. And it's coming down to you, Florida. Well, even if you live in Florida, your vote still didn't fucking matter. See how that works? That's how it works. Each state is all pretty much a red or a blue state already before the votes are counted. There's only a few states where it might theoretically even be close. So that means even if you believe in the voting process, you have to live in one of those fucking states for your vote to theoretically fucking count. But guess what? Nobody knows that. And they're like, I'm going to vote for Trump anyway in case you're wrong. You know how many people have said that to me? Hundreds. Jake, I like you. And I like what you're saying. But I'm voting for Trump anyway just in case you're wrong. Okay? Okay, I'm like, what state do you live in? I live in Montana. Well, he's going to fucking win your state anyway, okay? So don't worry about it. Oh, yeah. And did I mention he's a pro wrestler?
It's conditioning for what's to come. Just like Vince McMahon and Trump are best buds, but they pretended to be enemies. They pretended to fight. So when I tell people Donald Trump is a professional wrestler, he's got in the ring and thrown a clothesline and pretended to fight, they go, nuh-uh, you're stupid. You're just a conspiracy theorist. Meanwhile, you can literally go watch Trump in the ring throwing a clothesline at Vince McMahon.
Josh G, I don't recall covering Trump's uncle, so you probably have that me confused with someone else. In fact, I'm positive I didn't make a video about that. So whatever video you saw wasn't mine. But thank you for the donation. But one thing I will say is I think that the character in Back to the Future, Biff Tannen, is based on Donald Trump. So that I have talked about, that Biff Tannen from Back to the Future is based on Donald Trump. But I didn't say anything about Trump's uncle. I don't think I've ever brought up his family members and any conspiracies behind them. I've mainly just stuck to what he has done and said. Oh, and I appreciate the donation either way, though, buddy, even if you mistakenly thought that I made a video that I didn't. So thank you for that. All right, let me back it up just a little bit because I said something important here.
Vince McMahon and Trump are best buds, but they pretended to be enemies. They pretended to fight. So when I tell people Donald Trump is a professional wrestler, he's got in the ring and thrown a clothesline and pretended to fight, they go, nuh-uh, you're stupid. You're just a conspiracy theorist. Meanwhile, you can literally go watch Trump in the ring throwing a clothesline at Vince McMahon. If you get in the ring with Vince McMahon and he lets you throw a clothesline and then he falls and pretends to be hurt, you are now a professional wrestler. It doesn't matter if that's the only move you ever do. If you get in the ring on WWE television and you participate in a fake move and the owner of the company falls down and pretends to be hurt, that means you're a professional fucking wrestler. If Trump is your boy, you are a fan of a professional wrestler. And I know you think he's a good guy. It's because that's his part. He's the good guy. And he used to be a bad guy. He used to be friends with Hillary Clinton and be a Democrat. But then he turned into a good guy. And now he doesn't like that woman and wants to put her in jail. It's a script. It's a Hollywood script. Who's following along? Who's following along? If you guys go back and fact check anything I've said, it's 100% dead on. All the stuff I've tied in with professional wrestling, if you don't believe it, it's so easy to go find. Just type in Trump versus Vince McMahon, and you can go back and watch the entire thing. They're friends pretending to be enemies. And people who love Trump are going to be like, that's because he's a good businessman and he's such a good actor. Trump's a good guy. He's a professional wrestler and you are a hillbilly. Trump's a good guy and he's your friend and he's trying to fight for free speech and he loves you. You are a hillbilly who loves professional wrestling. And the thing is, that character that I can slip in and out of, Trump 2020, he's a good guy. That is millions of people who are registered voters who think they're making a difference. And if you talk shit about these people, they get mad and assume you're voting for Biden.
Old me totally knows what I'm talking about. I totally know what old me is saying right here. And I can totally identify with old me. And I agree completely with old me. Old me has a really cool hat as well, by the way. But anyway. All right. Rose Bell says, I think the roots of wrestling and Hinduism are deep. GMAA67 Flatterson says a professional wrestler and then a wondering emoji. Yeah, see, he pretended to fight with Vince McMahon. They had what was called the Battle of the Billionaires. And so I look at it as training. He got to have a program with basically one of the most popular sports entertainers who ever lived, Vince McMahon. And they got to pretend to be in a feud. And this was before he became president. So it's almost like he went through training to be on the big stage to where he could pretend to be in a feud with Joe Biden running for president. I mean, that's the way I see it because I was a pro wrestling fan, and I was also a fan of the UFC and boxing, and I did some boxing when I was a kid and some amateur wrestling, and so I have a good idea of like what's real and what's fake. And when they try and blur the lines of what's real and fake, I'm like, okay, that's fake, but they're trying to fucking pretend it's real. So I'm very skilled at knowing like how people are pretending in the show aspect of the whole thing. And so if you grow up a fan of pro wrestling and then you look at the election from a pro wrestling show standpoint, it's the same fucking thing, except they aren't going to have a pretend fight. Instead, you get to see the map laid out, and you get to see colors taking over the map. So instead of Trump and Joe Biden getting in a ring and pretending to fight, you're just going to see the American map with the states all colored in with red or blue. Trump won Wyoming, and so now he takes a lead. Oh, but Joe just won Nevada, which was unexpected, but he totally won Nevada. It's because of the Democratic voting in Las Vegas. Swung Nevada. So I'm saying, they'll just be showing you a fight that's occurring on a map between colors. Did you get what I just told you? Because that's what they've been fucking doing. Instead of having a match, they just show you colors of states. Oh, look, Iowa's red. Oh, no, it flipped blue. Woo! See, that's like when a bad guy or a good guy turns into a bad guy. They can have the old flipperoo. Oh, well, this state's definitely looking like it's going to be blue. Oh, but Trump rallied and won that state in the final minute. It's like a pro wrestling match. You got to make it exciting, except you can't have the two old fucks pretending to fight. So you just have states up on the screen, and you just color them in blue and red. And people are at home like eating popcorn. Oh, I wonder who's going to win that state. Oh. You guys are going to fucking do that. There's people here who are going to fucking sit there and watch that. They're going to sit there and watch for hours the map while they color in the states blue and red. Every 4 years, man. And they swing it back and forth so perfectly. So I've even pointed out, like, hey, if it was real, one side would eventually start to dominate, like in a real competition between businesses. One will start to dominate the other. It might be close for a while, but then the gap will widen. And so it's kind of funny how it swings back and forth, like, oh yeah, we go from Reagan to Bush to Clinton, back to Bush and Obama and Trump and then Biden. And it just switches back and forth just perfectly like that. It's like, oh, how come there's not like a 30-year gap where one side wins? When was the last time there was like a 50-year stretch where one side won? Oh, no. See, there's always enough people to swing it the other way every 4 or 8 years. People have always had enough of whatever's going on to want the other thing. Sure, dude. There's only two choices, and it fucking swings perfectly back and forth every 4 to 8 years, for sure. Makes total sense. No 50-year stretches for any one side. Nope. So if you are a conservative, you have to take that into consideration that you're going to always be angry during those 4 and 8 year stretches when your guy doesn't win. That's why I don't participate in being a conservative or a lib, because they're both tards in my book. And I'm not going to pretend to be happy when one guy wins and then pretend to be upset when for 4 to 8 years when my guy doesn't win. So if you pick a side, if you're like, well, I'm still picking Trump and I'm a conservative, well, then that means the next 4 or 8 year reign from any Democrat president, you have to fucking be all upset about it and bitch and moan. I'd rather just point out that they're all crooked every year. Got a big donation coming in from Lieutenant Weinberg. Says, what's up, JG? Doing my thing here on YouTube live on a Friday night, spilling the truth, just repeating some stuff that I've talked about before, but since it's election season and there's newbies in the house, I thought I'd drop some truth bombs on some newbies. But this is shit that old school Jake the Asshole subscribers already know. And they're like, yeah, dude, I watched that video 4 years ago on your channel. So, you know, a little something old, a little something new, same old shit, different day. I wouldn't be able to repeat my old shit if it wasn't totally relevant. You guys notice how that old video I showed from 4 years ago is like so fucking relevant now. It like is seamless how I just worked in a 4-8-year-old video and it still fits perfectly. Same guys and everything. The only thing gone is Vince McMahon. He's been replaced by an imposter. But that's for another video. Hey, thank you, Lieutenant Weinberg. That is a very generous donation. And I got a bunch of donations all coming in at once. So let me try and pull them all up on screen one by one. Miguel says, everyone give Jake a thumbs up. Go Chargers. Go Chargers. I don't know about go Chargers part, but yeah, giving me a thumbs up sounds good. I'm not going to pretend to like one fake football team over another fake football team. I gave up being a fake football fan. So now I just call out the NFL for being fake, but I'm not a fan. But back in my time when I was a fan, I was a Dolphins fan, a diehard. And they ripped my heart out of my chest so many times that I'm so glad that I don't do the fanboy thing anymore. It's a waste of time. Shalom Man says, what colors are needed for glasses to make a 3D movie work? Both work together for the desired effect. Red and blue, my man. Red and the blue. Hey, what are the factions for Raw versus SmackDown? Red versus blue. SmackDown is the blue brand. Raw is the red brand. Police lights. Police pull you over. The red and the blue. Yeah. There's a lot of symbolism with those two colors that are repeated over and over again. You wouldn't think anything of it unless somebody comes along and points it out, of course. Looks like I got another one from Plumber. So Plumber says, This is towards the eventual Indian moon landing concert. Well, I did sing Land on the Moon earlier in the stream, but so I don't necessarily want to like repeat it and sing it again. But just in case you missed it, I'll sing a little piece of it just in case anyone missed it. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We're off to the east, we're off to the west. And yes, bitch, you know that we're off the best. We land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. Yes, my friend, we will come back soon. We're off to the north, we're off to the south. We rove right up inside your motherfucking mouth. We rove to the left, we rove to the right. Bitch, you know that we rove all night. We land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. Land on the moon, we land on the moon. And yes, don't want to come back soon. Hey, all right. There goes a quick version. That's the quick version because I already did it. So I didn't want to have to sing the whole version again. That's kind of like when you get the quick version of Happy Birthday at a restaurant. You don't get the whole happy birthday song. You get the quick version. Happy, happy birthday from all of us to you. We wish it was our birthday so we could party too. Hey! Right? That's the version you get. What the fuck am I talking about? What am I talking about? I was talking about something and then I totally got thrown off. Casey Coravu says, I sent $1. Did it go through? Maybe. Fuck, I don't know. But I'll just thank you whether it did or not. Thank you whether it did or not. Give me $1. And I'm going to read this comment that you put up on screen. Whether or not you gave me $1. Because I'm such an awesome dude. All right. All right. Okay, so I got the Trump was a pro wrestler video. And then I got another one that I made and then re-uploaded again more recently that shows back when Trump was endorsing the VAXX. Gotta remind everyone that he did that. A lot of people like to forget that he did that, try and put it out of their memories, but I'm here to remind them. Trump endorsed the VAXX. Yes, he did. He said you should take it. He said you have your freedoms, but you should take it. And simply saying the word freedom doesn't override the fact that he promoted the jab. So if you promote the jab and then you say you have your freedom, that doesn't mean that you're anti-jab. That still means you promoted the jab. Which Trump did. And I'm going to remind everybody because Trumpers like to forget. Trumpers like to forget every bad thing Trump ever did. And if you bring it up, they like to make excuses. So, any Trumpers in the house, get your excuses ready, boys. It's excuse time. This was the guy not long ago. What did he say? What was his message?
We are a nation that has lost its way, but we are not going to allow this horror to continue. 3 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists. We will throw off the sick political class. We will rout the fake news media. We will drain the swamp, and we will liberate our country from these tyrants and villains once and for all.
Are you fucking serious?
With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists. We will throw off the sick political class. But I happen to take the vaccine. We will rout the fake news media. We will drain the swamp, and we will liberate our country from these tyrants and villains once and for all. It shows you how unpainful that vaccine shot is. So everybody go get your shot.
It works incredibly well, 95%, maybe even more than that. It works incredibly well. And I would recommend it to a lot of people that don't want to get it. And a lot of those people voted for me, frankly. But, you know, again, we have our freedoms and we have to live by that. And I agree with that also. But it's a great vaccine. It's a safe vaccine. And it's something that works.
I recommend you take it, but I also believe in your freedoms 100%.
When you have the vaccine, people that do, and it's a very small number relatively, but people that do get it get better much quicker. And it's a very important thing to know. They don't get nearly as sick, and they get better. Lindsey Graham's an example. He said, if I didn't have this vaccine, I would have died.
And you know what? I believe totally in your freedoms. I do. Bree, you got to do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines.
Put on your yarmulke. Trumpy celebrates Hanukkah. So much funukkah when he overthrows America. He puts on his little hataka and he goes to Jerusalem, and then he touches the Wallaka, the Jerusalem Wallaka, 'cause he loves to celebrate the Hanukkah. Oh yes, I love touching this wall. I love wearing this hat. I love touching this wall. I'm going to make America so great. Ooh, yeah. Hillary, Bill, I got to tell you, that was some of the best swinging I've ever done. Me too. I had a great time. We should get together and do this more often. In the words of the great George Carlin, it's a big club. And you and I aren't in the club. Your hair smells nice, little girl. Would you like to be part of our club? We like little girls in our club.
We have many companies that are in final stages for the vaccines, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer, all great companies, but many of them. And we're going to have a great vaccine very, very shortly. I think we should have it before the election, but frankly, the politics gets involved, and that's okay. They want to play their games. It's going to be right after the election. I want to get for you what I got, and I'm going to make it free. You're not going to pay for it. It wasn't your fault that this happened. It was China's fault, and China's going to pay a big price, what they've done to this country. China's going to pay a big price, what they've done to the world. This was China's fault. And just remember that. So we're going to get you the drug. It's going to be free. We're going to get it into the hospitals as soon as you can, as soon as we can. And you'll see some amazing things happen because we have our military is doing the distribution. It's called logistics. And they deliver hundreds of thousands of troops in a matter of days. This is easy stuff for them. Our generals already, we're waiting for the emergency use authorization. And the drug companies have just made a lot of it. So hopefully this is going to be not just a therapeutic. It's going to be much more than a therapeutic. You're going to get better. You're going to get better fast, just like I did.
He said you got your freedoms. He was tricking the Democrats into taking their own poison. Yeah, that's it. He was tricking the Democrats into taking it. Everybody knows that shit's poison, so we all know, us real Trump followers know not to take it. He's tricking the Democrats into taking that shit, and they fell for it because he's a fucking genius. I mean, this is just proof he's a fucking genius. He done tricked the Democrats into taking their own poison. Right? Literally, that's what a Trump-tard has to do. The mental gymnastics performed in order to be like, oh yeah, he's a good guy on our side. Right? You gotta say he tricked the Democrats into taking that shit. Right? And nobody who follows Trump took that shit because they knew better. Right? Or you gotta say, no, he's a good guy and he promoted that because he had to. Oh, well, then that wouldn't make him a good guy. He promoted that because he was told to, quote unquote, had to. Well, then that means he's not making his own decisions. That means he's controlled, which means he's a bad guy. So fuck him, right? So Trumpers, any Trumpers left here, this ain't your saloon. Get out. But he's better than Biden. No, he's not. He isn't better than Biden. They both work for the same side. It's the same thing. And now, after all these years, there's still people sticking around when I say that because they know it's true. Whereas, shit, even 4 years ago, saying Trump's a bad guy and not on your side was way worse of a thing to say. And I would lose hundreds of subs at once if I said such a thing. Now I don't give a shit whether you go or not. That guy right there is an evil piece of shit and he's not on your side. And your vote doesn't count. So if you want to waste your time and pretend like your vote counts and rally behind that evil piece of shit, well then get fucking lost from my channel. Understand? But Jake, I still love your football content. Don't care. Don't want any Trumpers in my cabinet. So, let me make it clear. In this video, I've exposed Joe Biden being replaced, so I'm obviously not a Joe Biden supporter. And I've shown the evil side of Trump being a pro wrestler, putting on the little hat and touching the wall. So, what does that say about this presidential race? If you've been watching the whole time and you've seen all the evidence I've presented, what does that tell you about this current race? If you want to call it that, presidential race, presidential debate. Once you really look at all the evidence that I've shown you, what the fuck are we even looking at? Holden Smith says, I miss you, Jake. The real debate.com had RFK on. Oh, well, I don't know why you miss me. I'm right here live, bro. So you don't have to miss me. You should just be glad we're hanging out together. And thank you for the donation. And then I got another one of my homies coming in with a donation, a huge supporter of the channel, not just with the donation here, but this guy is always telling people to leave a thumbs up, telling people this is the best channel. So one of my absolute most hardcore subscribers, and I really appreciate the support. I love the hardcores. Shady Davy D. LaFleur says, yo, Jake, could you shout out one of your new subscribers for me? Aaron Passig, also Q and Fee on his latest work. Yeah, dude, I plan on having Q and Fee on soon because of this final experiment that's being pushed. It's starting to pick up some steam, and it's nothing but shills involved. And basically, me and Q and Fee are two of the only dudes who can get out in front of it and totally expose the shit out of it. And I've already started exposing the final experiment. I started talking about it a month ago. And so, yeah, as it nears closer to December, I'm going to pick up, it's going to pick up more steam, and I'm going to talk about it more and more. Of course, it's going to be in the middle of football season, so I'm going to have to try and juggle football content and flat earth content at the same time, which is going to be weird, but whatever. So, yeah, man, a lot of stuff that I'm preparing for. And so the summer right now is a bit of a vacation time. I'm not working as hard, taking trips, having fun. But it won't be long before basically every day I'm pumping out content in one way or another. So I'm going to try and juggle the conspiracy content and the football content. And so basically I'm going to be working all the time once fall hits. So I don't know what that has to do with what you just brought up, but because you brought up Q and Fee, and then I went off on this total damn tangent. But yeah, so Q and Fee is going to be coming on the channel soon for a live stream. We've already been talking, me and Q and Fee, that he needs to come on for another live stream. So yeah, that's going to happen for sure. And so he'll definitely get another shout out when that happens. And as far as your new or one of my new subscriber, Aaron Passig, welcome. Okay, let me move along to the next super chat. Okay, John Zimmer coming in with a super chat. Says requires a lie to make believe. Let the fool suffer. Nice show. Always requires a lie to make be lie be. Let the fool suffer. Requires a lie to make believe. I like it. Thank you, John Zimmer, for the super chat. Yeah, let me make sure I didn't miss any. Okay, looks like I'm caught up on super chats. And if I miss any, please, Rose, to send me a text if I miss any. All right. So basically, there's your debate coverage. We're talking about a guy who's been replaced, and then another guy who won't admit that Joe's been replaced. So how the hell are we going to take this seriously? Mr. Bad Gamer says, "Hi, Jake. You love some trolling." Oh, I'm not trolling. Everything that I said tonight is as truthful as I could have possibly made it for you. This is not an act or anything like that. It's a comedic performance, but everything I said's true, and I even showed evidence. So go back and rewatch what I just showed. And if you come to the conclusion that I'm wrong, well, I'll come to the conclusion that you're a sheep and I don't care. All right. Vanessa says, Vanessa Camera Designs, Camara, I don't know. You decide. Says, I really enjoyed your San Francisco video. Would be awesome to see more real content like that. So I got a lot of positive comments about it and a lot of comments in general and a ton of thumbs up. The only thing I didn't get was a good number of views. It didn't do great with views. It didn't do bad. But like I was hoping that it would get like over 10,000 like within like the first day, and like that it would really stick out, maybe catch on in the algorithm, because a lot of people make videos about going to bad areas of hoods, and those videos you can watch this year, you can watch it next year, watch it the year after, and it still basically will hold true and still hold people's interest and engagement. So my thought was, by creating that sort of content, I'm creating content that somebody can watch 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and it'll still be relevant and entertaining. But yeah, it just didn't get a ton of views. So the cost to drive to San Francisco from where I live and back, and then the toll to go across the Bay Bridge, and then, you know, just food and stuff like that. It's like it costs more to make that video than I made on the video. So it's something that I can do every once in a while, but I can't specialize in it because it costs too much to travel. So a 2-hour drive to San Francisco, 2-hour drive back, That's an entire tank of gas and a little more. So that's like a tank and a quarter of gas, which is like $100 just right there. So just the gas to go there, $100, and the video and ad revenue has made like $40, I think, 35, $40 if I was to go check right now. So it just doesn't financially like work out for me to do a lot of that. It would need to get tens of thousands of views for me to like continue doing that regularly, but I can do it once in a while. I don't mind biting the bullet once in a while and doing something like that, but like for me to like travel to LA, now that's a 6.5 hour drive, right? One way, 6.5 hours back. You know what I mean? So to try and make the same video and go city to city and shit, oh my God, it would be super expensive. And I can't make it back on the video. And it's a bit depressing to go to the hoods. So that was another thing, is spending that much time in the hood, like an hour, 2 hours in a hood. It's depressing and it's a bit dangerous. And so I would have to invest in like a secret camera just to go back and do what I did, because walking around like, I'm filming all you people who are in poverty and I'm a goofy white guy. I'm going to put you on my YouTube channel. It's like I stick out and I'm like a lightning rod for negativity in this case. And so I'll have to get like some sort of hidden camera if I'm going to go do that sort of thing. So it basically means I have to invest money into it and plan, and it's depressing to see people who are in poverty. So that video turned out good, but shooting that sort of content, it just doesn't really work out long term for me. But thank you for I'm glad you enjoyed it. A lot of people liked it. All right. Like for instance, tonight, sitting in this office doing the stream, I've made like $200 just talking, in a couple hours. So you do the math. If I go live here in this office, it's way more profitable than if I go to San Francisco and walk around the hood. Badger says, I just started from the beginning, so I won't see when this posts, but I'll see myself in the future. It's scripted. Keep kicking ass, Jake. Thank you, Badger. Yeah, if you missed tonight's stream, you go back and rewatch it. I always recommend you watch it in 1.25 or 1.5 speed. And like some people will say, dude, I don't have 3 hours to watch your streams. Dude, watch a chunk of it or listen to a chunk of it before you go to sleep or on your next car ride. So next time you have a long car ride, throw me on. Listen to it in chunks, right? So there's easy ways to fit me in your schedule in pieces here and there and catch up on the work. So yeah, anyone who missed it, go back and watch it. Thank you, Badger. I appreciate you checking in and sending the super chat, bro. Or sis, whatever you are. I don't want to assume you're a bro. You might be a sis. All right. I think I got the super chats. All right, I think I'm caught up. Got OJ and Toothpaste coming in. Says, Jake, your thoughts on RV talking that shit. Bro, he just made up a bunch of lies, and half those lies I've debunked already in my last video about him. So, for instance, one of the lies he made up that's new, he said that he knows one of my mods, and that one of my mods tells him stuff about me, and that one of my mods said that I got sick after eating raw meat real bad. That's a made-up story. I've never got sick after eating raw meat or drinking raw eggs. In fact, I debated on tonight doing a RV debunked stream or talking about the debate. And I chose to talk about the debate because it's more popular and current and relevant. But RV's going to get his payback. He'll get his. Think you're going to lie about me and get away with it? But yeah, he made up this story that I got really sick from eating raw meat. Totally, he just made that up. That never happened. So anyone who told him that was lying, and him saying one of my mods told him that is hearsay, which is bullshit. And another thing, he was like, "Oh, Jake thinks all of his subscribers are fools." It's like, well, dude, I can make that up about you too, dumb fuck. Oh, one of RV's mods told me that he likes to go to rest stops and take big black dick all night long. Andy thinks his subs are fools. See how that works? I can make shit up too. One of RV's mods told me, see what and then I can make up anything I want. See how that works? What he didn't show was proof of any of the things he said about me. He's mad that he's irrelevant and I'm so much more popular. So he has to use my name and try and discredit me while pushing shill topics like veganism. Yeah, I eat meat, which is good for you, and I promote eating high quality protein, which is good for you, and he promotes that you don't eat meat and that you die. Anyone who promotes that you don't eat meat is a fucking piece of shit who wants you to die. Understand? Anyone who promotes veganism and tells you eating meat is bad is an evil piece of shit who wants you to be unhealthy and die. I've never told anyone to stop eating meat, and I never will tell anyone that. RV tells people that because he's a sick NWO shillbag piece of shit. And if he ever wants to show his face and get in a cage with me, I'd be happy to make him beg for his life. But he won't do that. And if I show his face and his name, he'll get the stream taken down in 24 hours. How does that work? If I show RV's real name and his face right now, he'll get this stream taken down in 24 hours. He has a connection to YouTube where he can get my stream or my video whacked if I show his face and give his name. So I've done that on BitChute, but I can't do it here. He's already taken out four of my videos because I show his face and give his name. What does that tell you? But I see some of my people going over there and listening to him. If I spot you over there having a positive discourse with him, I will fucking get rid of you from my channel. Yes, you can't play both sides. Well, Jake, I think that you're both cool. No, I'm real, and he's a fucking NWO shill who wants you to be unhealthy and die. So there's a choice. Jake, who's real and does real live streams where he shows his real face and talks to real people and is real. He's a real dude. You can fucking verify. And then there's the faceless, nameless coward who doesn't do any of what I do, who tries to discredit everything I've ever done. Fuck him for eternity. He's going to get what's coming to him real soon. One of the reasons I didn't want to bring him up tonight and do a stream about him is because he's forgotten. He's irrelevant. I would be sending new people to his channel to check him out, giving him traffic, which is what he wants. So I'll save it for another day. I had a nice audience tonight, already did some good numbers, did some good things, had a lot of fun. So I had the choice to stream about him tonight and debunk all his shit, but I'll save that for another day because that's going to be a long, tedious stream of me showing a bunch of shit that I've already shown before, already debunked all of his lies before. Now he's just added some new lies for me to debunk. It says I missed some super chats. Okay, my bad. Let me go back and grab it. I see a new one coming in right now. But let me go back and snag any super chat that I missed. OJ and Toothpaste says RVX like he isn't a shill, but he has the stupid bald art on his stream and used to talk to Jaron and David and promote them. What a joke. So here's the thing. He's still pushing one singular circling sun over the AE map, flat Earth, and then he ties it into the Bible. And then he also says eating meat is bad for you. He says eating meat causes cancer. So he's trying to be a disinfo agent in a lot of different fucked up ways. So he's trying to cater to Christians and make it out like the flat Earth model that he shows, which is CGI, a CGI ball sun going over a CGI flat Earth. It's all he's showing. And he's like, this is the biblical model because I say so. So he's trying to act like he is the end-all, be-all decider of what is a biblical flat Earth model and what isn't, which is bullshit. And furthermore, he's tried to insist that I'm wrong about the things I say, and such as the sun coming up from the southeast and setting to the southwest in Australia. And that's provably correct, that the sun comes up out of the southeast and sets to the southwest in Australia during the winter months. So October, November, December, you're going to see the sun coming up from essentially Antarctica and setting towards Antarctica, which would be the ice wall on that flat Earth model that he uses. And so he rejects this truth that's provable and says that that's a lie. And his audience just accepts that, even though it's literally proven that the sun ain't going in a circle. One sun, that is. One sun going in a circle over the flat Earth doesn't work. And it's fucking impossible. And it's been proven wrong over and over again by me, Q and Fee, and globe believers. Now, Earth is flat, but we all see our own sun. One sun don't work. We all see our own one sun. That's the only thing that works. And so he's trying to keep you away from the truth that we all see our own sun, our own one sun. And one sun by itself going in a circle over a flat Earth map is impossible. The only thing that works is that we all see our own sun, which means we live in some sort of a hyper-realistic simulation, virtual reality of sorts. I don't know what exactly it means, but he's there to keep you from that truth, while leading you down a rabbit hole of bullshit and telling you that eating meat is going to cause you cancer. Definitely, you don't want to listen to a guy like that who's telling you provably wrong shit and unhealthy shit. You don't want to listen to him at all. But there's people who do. They're like, oh, Jake, I want to listen to you and him. All right. Underdog says this Kupo is good for one hat stream clean. This Kupo is good for one hat steam clean. Steam clean. Oh, like my hat needs to be cleaned? Dude, the hat has never been cleaned. And it's old and has been, my old sweat and whatever, but who cares, really? It's not like you have to smell it on your end, right? So who cares how dirty it is, right? And I might retire it one day. Who knows? Maybe soon. Thank you, Underdog 2024, for this Kupo is a good one hat steam clean message. Whatever the hell it was supposed to mean. OJ and Toothpaste says, RV said you stole Matt Powerland tweaker. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Did you notice he didn't show the clip where Matt made it up, supposedly? Okay, so he says I stole Lunar Module or Homeless Tweaker Shelter. Let me grab the shirt. Okay. for anyone who's wondering, and since you're sending the super chat, I'll explain this because that's what a real truther does. So here it is, lunar module or homeless tweaker shelter. My design I came up with. That's the original picture from NASA that they claim is of them landing on the moon in 1969. Now we all know the moon landing's fake. So I took a picture, their picture, and said lunar module or homeless tweaker shelter, right? And so at one point, this flamer named Antonio Subarats came along and said that I stole that from Math Powerland. For those of you who have been following the flat earth topic for many years, he was a guy who claimed to work for NASA as a graphics artist, but he lied. And he had a shirt that said photo or painting, and his was a painting of a globe, and it said photo question mark or painting. And it was his painting of a globe. So when people would say it's a photo, he would be like, no, it's a painting. You want to know how I know? Because I painted it. So he had a shirt that said photo or painting, but it was a painting of a globe. My idea is only similar in the fact that it's in a question format. So I only took the question format and said lunar module or a homeless tweaker shelter. But the difference is I took the actual photo from NASA, and people will commonly say homeless tweaker shelter because it's funny and because it looks like that. So it's like a whole different deal what my shirt does versus his shirt. His shirt is like, oh, it's a painting because I painted it. Haha. Which doesn't prove that Earth is flat or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Whereas this shirt, people look at and they're like, oh, well, I'm like, yeah, that's an actual picture of NASA supposedly landing on the moon. And then they see that it looks like a homeless tweaker shelter. They can put two and two together. Oh, that the moon landing's fake. So is it a similar idea that I said homeless tweaker shelter or lunar module or homeless tweaker shelter? And Matt said photo or painting. Yeah, it's similar in the fact that I posed it as a question, but Matt never said homeless tweaker shelter. I came up with that. That's why RV and Antonio didn't have a clip of Matt coming up with that. Otherwise, they would have showed it. So if I stole it, as in someone else said those things and showed this image, and then I took it, well, then there would be a receipt, a timestamp, and there wasn't one. So the claim is made, but nobody shows me, like nobody shows Matt doing this before I made this a thing. That's because I made it a thing and Matt didn't come up with it. That's why. So if someone steals a joke and you can show proof that they stole your fucking joke, oh, well, you got them. But you can't say someone stole your joke and then be like, I'm not going to show any instances. You just have to take my word that he stole my joke. Well, how do I fucking know? You see what I'm saying? So RV did this thing where he said I stole this idea. But when you really look into it, like, what did I steal? Matt said this? Oh, he doesn't have proof of Matt saying that. So what did I steal? A question format? See? So when you know the backstory, he gets debunked 6 ways from Sunday, right? I debunked the shit out of his loser stupid ass. But what's the point? A lot of people don't even know this, what I'm talking about. So it's like people are like, who? Who are you talking about? And then it's like I have to explain who I'm talking about. Then they'll be like, well, what instance are you talking? Then I have to explain an old thing that happened years ago. See what I mean? So he knows that explaining all this and telling the real backstory and context is a pain in the ass on my part. But if I have to do it to prove that he's a liar, I can do it, obviously. So he's just banking on old shit that I've done, taking little tiny clips of me. Like the clip where I said I'm going to write a book and be a millionaire. Yeah, I never fucking wrote a book. I never wrote it. That was a lie that I made up to fucking trick Jaron. So he takes like something that I made up to trick Jaron and will try and hold it against me today. he said he was going to write a book and be a millionaire. And he said he's a fake flat earther. It's like, yeah, dude, I said that to Jaron because he was filing a false restraining order against me. So when you find out the true story of all this shit, it's like, yeah, he's just lying about me. And every lie he tells is easily debunked. But there's so many people who don't know the whole story. So for me to have to goddamn go back and tell it, it doesn't work, man, as far as being an entertaining stream. See what I'm saying? People are like, I don't know who or what you're talking about, so I just don't care. Then they tune out. So you have to have almost been following along with all this drama between me and him to even get it or care. Another lie he made up, he said that I'm wrong about the NFL rigged content and that not all the games are rigged, that some of the games are real. He sure looked like a shill shitbag when he said that. RV said some of the NFL games are real and that I'm wrong. I'm stupid and wrong about all the games being fixed and all the players being in on it. That's another reason, RV's a shill. He says some of the NFL games are real and not all the players are in on it. None of the shills who are in the flat earth topic will dare touch the same topics that I touch in detail like I do. It's like they've been instructed not to do it. So you won't see any flat earth shill also agreeing with me and my footage about the NFL being fake. No, they have to say Jake's wrong and that some of those games are real. See how that works? It's not just that topic. So RV's replaying this video where I say I'm going to write a book and tell everyone about how I dupe the flat earth believers. Well, Jaron at the time was using actual illegal methods to come after me, like filing false restraining orders. He's abusing the legal system. He literally filed a false restraining order against me. And I've never met the guy. And then cops were called against me, and the cops showed up to one of my family's addresses looking for me, wanting to talk about my YouTube channel, which has never, ever happened before. And so if I was going to go to court and countersue somebody, I'm not going to be like, I'm a real flat earther and those guys are actor shill flat earthers. No, that being the truth wouldn't fly in court. You know what would fly in court? I'm a comedian and those crazy fucking flat earthers are doxing me and using the judicial system illegally to harass me. See? So I had to have my story in order. If I'm going to go to court against shills, I can't say I'm a real flat earther guy and those guys are the fake flat earthers. No, instead, they're going to be the evil flat earthers. I'm the comedian and they are using the judicial system illegally to harass me, such as filing false restraining orders. So I was prepared to go to court against these evil fucks who were playing dirty pool. And if they were going to play dirty pool, oh, well, then guess what? I'm a comedian and I'm being harassed by these fucking dirty, evil flat earthers. How does that sound? So I had to come up with a good story and scare Jaron with it, that if he was to go to court with me, he's going to be the fucking evil flat earther and I'm going to be the comedian who tricked everyone. I never wrote the book. I never wrote even a word of a book, but I had to make Jaron believe that. And again, you would have to be following this story and know all the backstory to even understand what I'm talking about now. But if you go look up my name and Jaron's name, you're going to find that false restraining order that he fucking filed. It was real. This is real life. An agent shill fired a false restraining order against me and sent police to my family's house. who wanted to talk about my YouTube channel. I wasn't there. I was here in my office. Haven't heard back from police about that since, which is good. But still, I was like, okay, if I have to go to court against these fucking psycho shills, then they're going to be the ones looking like fucking flat earth psychos and not me. See how that works? I'm not going into court and being like, I'm the real flat earther that infiltrated the fake rolled out government version of the flat earth. I can't tell them that, even though that's the truth. And they still use that old clip against me. I say, I'm the real guy who infiltrated this movement, and they still try and use that clip against me as if I'm admitting I'm an infiltrator. Like, yeah, dude, I'm the real dude who got popular in the controlled fucking flat earth topic. The one real guy that they didn't plan for, that they couldn't have planned for, was me. Still is me. Still doing this. I'm a real boy. I'm not a puppet. I'm a boy. Now you go back and look at my first video on this channel, and I'm talking about the Earth being not a globe. I'm talking about space being fake and Earth not being a globe. And I'm still bringing up those topics to this day, and it's still relevant. They're fixing to have what's known as the final experiment, where they supposedly put it to rest once and for all and decide if it's a ball or it's flat. And it's a fake experiment run by shills. It's not even a real experiment. So I can see it coming from a mile away, and I already know what the fuck they're going to do. And I can stand in front of it and call them out. But they're going to do it anyway. And they got guys like RV and a couple pole smokers, Ronnie and Jason, to try and get in my way and muddy the waters. But with my help from Q and Fee, I'm going to tell the real truth. The real truth will be set free, as always. And the truth is like a mighty lion. Once it is set free, it will do the fighting on its behalf. Gideon says, you know who else is a snitch informant and files police reports? Brian Andrew Grossman. Dude, that guy is still on BitChute talking about me being an evil J to this day. That dude he met me in person, kissed my ass and bought me a beer, but then he went home and said I'm an evil J. And so he's been saying I'm an evil J for years, and it's like, dude, you see what I do here? I call out the bad guys. I'm not running any scams over here. It's like he's so insanely jealous that I'm popular and that I get way more views than he ever could. And he got kicked off of YouTube for yelling about the evil Jays. And so according to him, everyone's an evil J. Everyone, except for him. What a sad life that is. So if you go look at his sad life and some of his BitChute videos, like the one where he got beaten up by some black dude because he, like, you know, called some black guy an N-word, like, out in public, who was bigger and stronger, and that dude whooped his ass. And then he made a video talking about how much he doesn't like N-words. It's kind of hilarious. And then there's another video where he went out on the streets with his signs, and then he threatened one guy, and then one dude started coming at him with a knife, and then he ran like a bitch. So yeah, there's tons of examples of that guy on BitChute being bitched out on his own channel. Looks like I missed super chats. All right. See, that guy's an irrelevant shit stain who's got one phrase. It's a fucking Jews. That's it. That's his phrase. All right, let me try and find these super chats that I missed. OJ, RV definitely connected with shills. Marky Mark. RV's a longtime shill. He's been doing this for years. He gives a few little tiny nuggets of truth, but he mixes in a ton of disinfo. The worst is him telling people that meat will give you cancer. That's fucking hardcore unhealthy disinfo right there, and I won't stand for it. In fact, in an upcoming stream, I'm going to eat a bunch of damn raw meat and drink some eggs just to prove that son of a bitch is lying. That's right. Eat a whole raw steak and drink raw eggs. Smile after doing it. Okay, I'm going back a long way trying to find the super chat that I might have missed, or that I did miss. Oh, no, I think I got that one. So I went all the way back to this one, which I did read about this Cupo is good for one hat steam clean. Coupon. I think I did read that one. Went all the way back to that. So I think I'm caught up. All right. I miss super chats because I rant, and sometimes a super chat will fly by while I'm ranting. And then when I miss super chats, it makes me feel bad because I'm never trying to. So if I go back and watch the stream and I see that I missed 3 super chats, I always feel bad. So I tell Rose, one of my mods, to text me in case I miss any. All right. Okay, so I think I'm caught up. No, RV is a shill. I don't think he's just a bad truther. I think he's legitimately a shill. He ties back to too many people, and he's done interviews with just other shills. Like he just recently had like Bart Cybrell on, and he's done interviews with other shill bags who've also talked shit about me, and so shills of a feather flock together, and he promotes other shills too while pretending he's against certain shills. So I know how this game works. He's controlled opposition to controlled opposition within the controlled rollout of the flat earth. So I'm actually thinking of doing my own new series of true earth videos. It's a concept I'm coming up with. I want to call it True Earth. That way it's different from Flat Earth. Instead of using the Flat Earth name, I'll use True Earth. And I want to distance the bullshit, like one sun going in a circle and one moon going in a circle over the pizza pie map under a dome. I want to distance the bullshit from the truth and talk about what's actually happening. Okay, the ground is not curving downward in all directions. Earth not a globe. But no one's proven we're under a dome. Not to my satisfaction. Also, one sun going in a circle, impossible. One moon going in a circle, also impossible. The stars going in a circle over a pizza pie map, impossible. So I'm going to prove all that wrong in a new series and talk about what's real. You know, like we look up, we see the stars. What are they? Well, they're twinkly things. I'm going to go on record and be like, yeah, the stars are twinkly dots of light. When you look at a star, what is it? Oh, well, it's a sun. Trillions of miles away, millions of light years away, and it's a big ball of burning gas. No, it's not. So a star, for instance, when you look at it from the ground with your own 2 eyes, you see a twinkly dot of light. So that's what I want to base my truth off of. Okay, the stars, we know they're twinkly dots of light. Let's not assume they're anything else. Let's not assume it's a big ball of burning gas millions of miles away. You can't verify that. In fact, you can verify the opposite. What do you look at? You see a twinkly dot in the sky, and we're told that that's the same thing as our sun. So there's millions of people walking around, billions of people walking around thinking that the stars are the same thing as our sun, our sun, the one that we all see. And we all see our own one sun, and it ain't the fucking same as the stars. Those stars are not distant suns. You can't ever prove that the stars are distant suns. You can't prove that the stars are distant giant gas balls. So what can you really prove on the real Earth? It's a twinkly dot. That's what we got. And that's what I'm going to tell people. The stars are twinkly dots. I'm not going to say they're fallen angels. I'm not going to say it's plasma. I'm going to say it's a twinkly dot of light. And that's about the best I got. So I want to tell people in this new series of True Earth what's really fucking happening and what we really see, such as the sun goes up, the sun goes down. Yes, the sun does go up and down, comes out of the earth and goes into the earth. And it's not a physical object. So therefore, when I say the sun goes into the earth, I'm not saying a fucking fireball's going into the earth and lighting everyone on fire. I'm saying we see the sun physically go into the earth and come out of the earth every day. There's only certain extreme locations where it supposedly stays up 360 degrees around your head. All the rest of the time, you see that sun get bigger as it goes towards the horizon, bigger and orange, and go into the horizon. So you got two models where they say one globe model, you got the sun only appearing to come up and go down, but it's a gigantic fireball and a little tiny earth that's rotating. That's bullshit, as we all know, or you should know. And the flat earthers are saying, oh, the sun doesn't rise or set. It just comes and goes away from you. Well, that's bullshit too. So when you put the two of them together, flat earth, sun comes up and goes down just like you see it. Now we're getting somewhere. But how the hell does the sun come up and go down on a flat earth? Well, that's because we all see our own sun, our own one sun, and our own one moon, and our own set of stars, and they follow you around wherever you go. Try and drive away from the sun. It's fucking stuck right out your window, chasing you down. Try and go jog away from the moon. It's stuck right there, chasing you down. We all see our own sun. We all see our own moon. We all see our own set of stars. And there isn't just one sun going in a circle or one big gigantic fireball sun, because the angles at which we see the sun are irregular and independent and don't triangulate back to one sun. Once you figure out that we all are looking independently with our own observation angles at the same sun, same moon, but none of those angles triangulate back to the same one sun and same one moon, what does that mean? That there's two suns or two moons? No, we all see our own sun. That's what that means. And that's why the angles at which we see the sun and the moon are irregular and cannot be used in celestial navigation. So if you look into celestial navigation, you have to use a mean sun, a mean moon, and mean stars. By mean, I mean virtual sun, virtual moon, and virtual stars. You can't use the actual position of the actual sun and moon and stars? Yes, that's what I just told you. So why would you have to use virtual positions of the sun, moon, and stars for celestial navigation? That's because the angles at which we see those sun, moon, and stars don't triangulate. So that means we're all seeing our own sun, our own moon, and our own set of stars. That's what that means. And so I have to come up with a way to turn this into a video series and use a combination of Q and F's graphics and what I know and can tell people and turn it into a new series because they're fixing to try and throw the flat earth topic under the bus and act like there's only two choices, globe and flat earth. And the flat earth has this one sun that goes in a circle. And so they're fixing to throw that one under the bus and make it out like the only choice left is globe. And so I've got to be there to pick up the pieces, get out in front of it before it even happens, even, and make content showing people what's really fucking happening. And to try to do that in 2024, it's going to be tough. It's going to be rough, especially going up against the shill brigade, because they're all going to come after me if I do that. OJ says, Jake, your thoughts on Hawk Tua? I just found out about that yesterday. So I heard about it, didn't know what the hell it was, saw it yesterday, and yes, some girl went viral by talking about spitting a loogie on a fella's cock. Good for her. And then there's people out there that want to share that and think that that's the funniest, greatest thing. That's what I don't get, is why everyone's going so crazy over some girl talking about spitting on a dick. But apparently, everyone loved it so much that it's a thing as far as you sending me money to talk about. So here I am telling you. Yep, some girl spat on some guy's dick and talked about it. And here we are all talking about how that girl spat on some guy's dick. 2024, baby. All right. Rose Bell's like, what? Just look up Hawk Tua girl, and you'll find out. So it's a girl who just recently went viral because she mentioned the sound effect of spitting on some dude's dick. She said it's like Hawk Tua, and you spit on that thing. Basically, that's like what she said. You just Hawk Tua, and you spit on that thing. And that is enough to go viral to the point where everyone's talking about it, and now I'm being paid to talk about it. Rose brings up a good point. Would it be funny to spit on a vagina? Well, I guess that's subjective. But would America in 2024 find it as funny if a man was to be like, oh, you just Hawk Tua right there on that vajayjay, you know what I'm saying, or what? I don't think it would have been as well receptive. Because she was a cute girl and she's talking about spitting on a dick, it's acceptable. But if it would have been a toothless hillbilly talking about spitting on a vajayjay, then it would have been bad and evil. That's how that works. I think. I don't know. Open topic portion of the stream. You never know what we're going to talk about. Double standards indeed. Like, dude, I saw people selling Hawk Tua hats and people, like, there was somebody who got a Hawk Tua tattoo. Like, dude, something goes viral and then you tattoo that on your body because some girl talked about spitting on a dick and now you want that on your body forever? What? I don't have any tattoos. And somebody out there got a tattoo of the Hawk Tua girl saying. So weird. You can look that up. Somebody did get a Hawk Tua girl tattoo. People are broken. I would have to agree. It's crazy how memes can take off. I actually watched a video last night about some of these kids who got turned into memes, and then all these years later, them talking about how they became memes. Like the have you ever had a dream kid? Like the little boy who's like, have you ever had a dream? Well, you like, and he couldn't fucking come up with like what he wanted to say in his head. So anyway, like the have you ever had a dream kid who became a meme? Like he's now like all these years later, like talking about how he became a meme. It's fucking weird. Like there's content that people are watching about how someone became a meme, like why they became a meme. It's weird. Whereas you go back like 30, 40 years ago, people will be like, what's a meme? Oh, it's like a picture with words on it. Why is that a big deal? I don't know. Yeah, being turned into a meme can destroy your life from what I've heard, because then everywhere you go, you're like almost Hollywood celebrity type famous, but for all the wrong reasons, right? Not for cool shit. Like if you're the I love turtles kid, you know what I mean? Like that's what everybody knows you as, and you don't ever get to escape it. Every girl you meet, you have to eventually tell them, yeah, I was the I love turtles kid. Like, is that going to get you laid if you were the I love turtles kid? I don't know. As if Hawk Tuah Girl hasn't already been ran through the ringer. You don't become Hawk Tuah Girl unless you've Hawk Tuah'd on a few penises before. So I'm sure now that she's all the rage, she'll get all of the opportunities to Hawk Tuah on all the penises she could possibly imagine. Lucky her. She's got the world at her penis tips. I mean, fingertips. All right, y'all. Well, I've been on here for over 3 hours, and I'm getting a little tired, and I made it through the stuff I wanted to show. Yeah, pretty much talked about all that shit, and so I'm gonna get off here and enjoy the rest of my Friday night. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday night and the rest of your weekend. Perhaps I can try and fire up a stream like Sunday if I can get it planned out ahead of time. So thank you guys for watching this stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. Everyone who commented in chat, I'm going to go back and rewatch the stream probably tomorrow, and I'll read every single one of these chats that I missed. And thank you to all the people who sent in super chats. I always appreciate the super chat love. So thank you to everyone who sent in donations tonight. I really, really appreciate that. And until next time, this is Jake the Asshole, formerly Flat Earth Asshole. And I'm signing out. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.